What is good in the hood? Give me 2 secs. 2 secs to grab a drink. And get this party started. Where are we? The usual. If you can hear me, because I've got my mic plugged in, can anyone just say, or thumbs up or anything, if you can hear me? Hopefully you can. Just a couple of thumbs up would be nice. Oh, yeah, everyone can hear me loud and clear. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. 2 seconds, peeps. I'm coming to the green chair in 2 seconds. We got to talk about a lot of shit. Because what Canelo did yesterday, I mean, we need to talk about that big time. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Got my drink. Got the laptop. People are in the building. Let's go, people. Let's go. Cheers, everyone. Happy Christmas if you celebrate it. I know some people do, some people don't. But if you do celebrate it, happy Christmas. All right. You know what the fucked up thing is? I've just turned the washing machine on. And it's spinning. Like it's going to fucking take off. All right, where do we start? We got to start with Callum Smith, right? Let's get that one out of the way. I'm going to read out some of your questions, so get your questions coming in. That was madness. Like, that's Canelo. It's now got to the stage for me where Canelo's incredible. Like, he's incredible. I personally think he's unbeatable at 160 and 168. He's actually unbeatable. Geez, that was quick. Snapchat coming in, super chat coming in from CRB says Fury Wilder 3 is next, mark my word. 100% we're going to get to that as well. I believe that's true. We are going to get to that. But let's quickly focus on the Callum Smith. But 100% CRB is correct. It's definitely Fury Wilder 3 happening, by the way. But I think Canelo is just like, I need someone to tell me in the in the what do you call this shit again? The comment section, what he can't do. I was watching that fight yesterday and thinking, there's nothing he can't do. Nothing. His head movement is incredible. His disguise of shots. There was a couple of times where he was going to the body jab, then just screwed it into an uppercut. Lastminute.com. Like, he was walking Callum Smith, the bigger man. Callum Smith probably came into the ring yesterday, I'm going to say around 185. He was walking the bigger man down as though he were the bigger man. What? He's incredible. He threw jabs. So he's having to throw jab upwards by about 7 inches, and they're landing. Like, his arrogance when he walks around the ring, like, this is my ring. He's an all-time great already for me. Like, he's an all-time great. And if he adds to his CV like we're thinking, and he's added to, because he said, look, he wants to clear up at 168. So 168 means, well, although Beterbiev doesn't have a belt, but you'd like to think he'll go down the Benavidez route. That WBC belt is Benavidez' belt as far as I'm concerned. I know he lost it on this guy's, but it's his belt. So the Benavidez route, Caleb Plant route, and the Billy Joe Saunders, they're not beating him. CRB sends a super chat in, says Benavidez knocks Canelo out. We can't say that. We can't say that. And the reason we can't say that, as much as I think Benavidez is a good fighter, we got asked, who is Benavidez knocked out at the level of Canelo? And Canelo's chin isn't normal. And not only is Canelo's chin not normal, Canelo knows how to ride a punch better than most boxers we've seen. Like, even when Callum Smith looked like he was catching him clean yesterday, I watched the fight back 2 times. He's riding those punches. So when you're watching it the first time around, it looks like Callum Smith has caught him clean, but he's read it well. Remember, there's this famous photo or video of Danny Jacobs catching him clean. You watch it from the other angle, he rides that punch. So it's not like yes, he already has a granite chin, and we know he has a granite chin because Golovkin catched him clean about 20 times over both fights. But even when you think you're going to land, he moves. His head movement is fantastic. Yeah, no, he's a different beast, bro. He's a different beast. I've always said, like I wasn't too high on Callum Smith. I know a lot of people were very high on Callum Smith. I was a bit like, that George Groves fight, George Groves then retired. George Groves had shoulder problems. I was not too high on him, but the fact remains, Callum Smith was an unbeaten, ring-recognised number one, 168 pounds, and some may argue he didn't win a round. Some may argue he didn't win a fucking minute of that fight. Madness. CRB says, Fury had not knocked out anyone at level of Wilder. Yeah, but Wilder wasn't knocked out by Fury. Wilder was hurt and stumbled and put down, wasn't knocked out. Canelo, we've seen Canelo get hit by, at the time he fought Golovkin. Golovkin was considered one of the hardest punchers in the sport. Everyone was saying it, like, Golovkin hits you, it's in trouble. Golovkin couldn't dent him. He's got too many tricks for Beterbiev. I think Beterbiev is very, very good, by the way. But Beterbiev, we know, doesn't live the life. He had the cocaine issue outside of boxing. Doesn't live the life. Like, he would dent Beterbiev just because Canelo lives this life, I mean, I stalk him, I'm saying, and you always see him in the gym. And I've got this thing where I stalk boxers, bit crazy, but I stalk them to see what they're doing in between camps, which is why I like Teofimo. Teofimo in between camps, we're seeing him still do stuff. Canelo has got, I'm going to guess, around 300 million pounds in the bank. Canelo trains like he's broke. Canelo trains in between fights like he's broke. Beterbiev simply doesn't. So it's not just a case of he's better than these guys. He lives the life better than these guys. We know he lives the life better than Billy Joe Saunders. Fact. I think we all can admit that. He lives a life better than any of them. Look, I think questions will be asked about the clenbuterol. You've got to ask those questions. But I do think naturally we saw Canelo as a kid. So I think we're forgetting that naturally this guy has just put on muscle naturally. So I'm not going to be too harsh on him with regards to the clenbuterol and is he on PEDs. Look, I mean, if I'm honest with you, I think the majority of them on bloody PEDs. Maybe he's on the best PEDs. I think that's what we're trying to say. I think the majority of them. I've got to watch this. A Base the Kid has sent in a super chat and he says, Ade, have you watched a robbery that was Manny Rodriguez versus Raymond Gaballo yet? By the way, you're rude doing this while Man United are playing. I'm doing it because Man United are playing and they're winning 4-5-1, I think it is. But I've not watched that. But Base the Kid's upset because he lost money on it. But I've got to watch that fight. Everyone's saying it was one of the robberies of the year. I haven't watched it. I've got to watch it. CRB says, Benavidez lives the cocaine cowboy life and wins still. He does. But we know there's a ceiling with that. Like, if you guys follow the UFC, you'll know that as good as John Jones is, John Jones lives the cocaine life as well. It started to catch up with him. When you're fighting guys that are living that life really like Canelo does, Canelo lived the life, people. Lived the life. So I can't see anyone beating him. Let's quickly read a couple of your questions about Canelo. Look, the one that everyone is still saying is Billy Joe Saunders, and I'm still very confused as to what people have been watching. I don't pretend on this channel to be a boxing expert. Yes, it's a boxing channel, but there are loads of you guys out there that follow the sport a lot more hardcore than me. I've seen nothing from Billy Joe Saunders to tell me he beats the guy that I watched yesterday. Nothing. I'll be honest with you. I think speed might kill Canelo. That's the only thing I can think. And the reason I was saying that, because I remember watching Amir Khan Canelo, and Amir Khan was super fast and he was in and out of the pocket, and he was doing all right, Amir Khan was doing all right until we got caught. So I don't know if it was out there between 160 and 168 that's really fast. That's why on my post-fight video yesterday, I mentioned Charlo, just because he's quite fast. But even he can't keep it up for 12 rounds, and Canelo will eventually get him. He will get to him. This dude is a scary dude. The only person really that might have a chance is Bivol. And the reason I say Bivol, not at 175, but Bivol I think could come down to 168. That's the only person, but even him I'm not quite sure about. Yeah. People are saying it like Matthew D'Souza says, Benavidez and Billy Joe Saunders beat him. Last week you said Benavidez beats Canelo. Yeah, that was last week until I saw what Canelo did to Callum Smith. An unbeaten Callum Smith. I've changed my mind. I said Benavidez, I didn't say he beats him as well. I said it gives him a good fight, and I think Benavidez could dent him. But guys, I don't know what to tell you. I said yesterday that I think Canelo has everything, and that was prior to watching it. I've watched him fight Callum Smith now. He has everything. You know why I think he was so good? Because I don't think Callum Smith was bad. I don't think Callum Smith was bad. I was listening to the DAZN commentary, and they made it out like he was bad. I was watching it thinking, my God, Callum Smith's doing everything. I'm not joking. I was watching it thinking, Callum Smith is going to the body, Callum Smith's going to the head, Callum Smith's doubling up on the jab, Callum Smith throwing a big right hand, Callum Smith threw a couple of hooks. Callum Smith threw everything he could at Canelo. Again, this is a Callum Smith that was a good amateur, not Olympian level, but a very good amateur, won ABAs. This is a Callum Smith that is unbeaten as a pro. Yes, he's a tough fight, but he's unbeaten as a pro. So he's got the unbeaten confidence. And he was throwing the kitchen sink. He opened that tool bag and brought out everything he could and chucked it at Canelo. And Canelo was almost in the Matrix with it. And was like, what's that? What's that? I'll get rid of that. And boom, boom. Mate, I'm telling you now, that's impressive. Because not only is he outboxing Callum Smith, that's what Billy Joe Saunders would do to Callum Smith. Billy Joe Saunders, I think, would outbox Callum Smith. I think I've said that. He wouldn't beat him up as well. So Canelo not only outboxes you, he beats you up. And he does it at your game. Callum Smith's game is close. He likes to go fight in close for some reason. Someone that has such a big reach and is so tall, he likes to fight close. Canelo's like, all right, let's fight close then. Let's fight close. And started walking him down, beating him up. People, understand what I'm saying. It's madness. Madness, people. It's absolute madness. All right, what we got here? What's this? I think someone said something ridiculous here. I want to see it before. I saw someone say something like Canelo beats someone at heavyweight. Let's stop right now. Hussein Ali Super Chat says, Billy Joe Saunders has no power. Canelo is a boxer and a puncher. Thank you, Hussein Ali. This is what I'm saying, people. It's not just that he's a boxer. This guy has power. He has power as well. And you know what I think everyone is forgetting? Everyone that is listening things like, oh, Billy Joe Saunders beats him and Beterbiev beats him. You know, one thing you're forgetting, big fight experience. I think everyone is forgetting how important that is. Canelo has so many fights now where there are massive fights, where there are big events. He's so used to the big fight experience, and you can't buy that experience. So everyone can say things like, oh yeah, this person, you forget what big fight experience is like. He has that in bundles. Let's not forget, I mean, this guy was fighting Mayweather 6 years ago. I mean, he learned so much from that, and now he's just added to it and added to it. And you know, another thing that's scary, I watched the first Golovkin fight when did I watch it? About a month ago, I watched the first Golovkin fight because I still think Golovkin won that fight, by the way. Do you know how better he's gone since then? He's gone. Like, he's literally gone another level since that. Nah, blood. If he is on the juice, he's on some good juice, boy. But juice will give you energy, and that's something he lacked back in the day. He struggled going to 12 rounds. You go and watch the fights against Angulo, and you understand what I'm saying. Trout, he did struggle. Now, he's got a gas tank. He can ride with the punches. He's got punch selection, big fight experience, super confident. He's a 4-weight world champion, legit 4-weight world champion. I think people need to start putting respect on his name. All right, let's read some of your questions. Someone saying here, Canelo versus Beterbiev. That's how crazy it's gone, that we're moving. We're not even talking about the guys at 160 and 168 anymore. We're saying, okay, fight a monster. Like, Beterbiev is genuinely a monster. Like, Beterbiev, I don't even want to think about what he walks around at. He's a monster. But he's been down in a couple of fights, Beterbiev, obviously against big punchers, but he's been down a couple of times. He's susceptible. Plus, I think Beterbiev is going to be 35 soon. You know, the thing is about Canelo and Beterbiev, Canelo gets nothing from fighting Beterbiev because he's already now a 4-weight world champion. And it's not a big money fight. Some may argue that the bigger fights are the guys at 168 to clean up. Billy Joe Saunders could be financially a bigger fight than Beterbiev. So could Charlo. I don't know if Benavidez or Caleb Plant will be, but he's going to want that Caleb Plant belt, and he will run through Caleb Plant. I like Caleb Plant. He will run straight through him. Caleb Plant has nothing on him. Nothing whatsoever. All right. What we got here? Questions. Thoughts on Charlo versus GGG? Don't know, We're going to talk about GGG in a minute because I wasn't... someone telling me, Ade, stop talking. Who's this that's telling me? Cystic One. Saying, Ade, stop talking too much and read the chat a little. Cheeky. For that, have another drink. Charlo, yeah. GGG against Zarameta. I don't know. I mean, it was a good performance, but who the hell is Zarameta? That was awful. That's an IBF mandatory. That's what I'm saying. Scrap the belts. All right. Nathan Turville says, I expected Canelo to win, but I was still in awe of him last night. Billy Joe should think about moving back down to 160 because he ain't beating Canelo. Yeah, Billy Joe Saunders' best weight is 160. You watch it. I still think Canelo's best weight is 160 as well, by the way. I think he's overreaching at 168. The guys are very big. You thought Callum Smith was big. Wait till you see the size of Beterbiev. Like, Callum Smith's tall, but he's quite lean. Beterbiev is just a big guy. I think Billy Joe, I think he moves slower at 168. I saw him against Martin Murray, although he was out for a long time, moved a lot slower. So I think 160 is Billy Joe's best weight. So we'll see. Billy Joe Saunders versus Andrade at 160 next year. Should be the fight to make. Will be a boring fight, though. Don't expect fireworks in that fight whatsoever. Andrade talks a great fight, but stylistically, him versus Billy Joe Saunders could be a snooze fest. I think the press conference and the weigh-ins would be the most exciting thing about that fight, because that would be exciting. Benavidez is going to be a light heavy in 2021. I agree with that. a lot. Let's get a couple more questions. 786 NAF. Well, I haven't heard from you for ages, brother. Well done. Hello, how are you? Canelo looked elite last night. I think his next fight should be Benavidez. I don't think it will, because Benavidez doesn't have a belt. So why go Benavidez when, yes, the WBC belt was his, but he got stripped. He has nothing to offer you. You're definitely going to go Billy Joe or Caleb Plant next. That's what you're going to do. I would be shocked if it's not Billy Joe. I'd be shocked now. Seeing him and Eddie Hearn yesterday, this is Canelo and Eddie Hearn, they looked good. They looked fine talking. I think Oscar being removed from the equation might help as well. And I think he'll look at Billy Joe and think, easy work. Honestly, he'll look at Billy Joe and think, yeah, you move a little bit, but you have no pop on your punches. Your gas tank ain't that good. You don't live the life. You think you can beat me? Because you think what? I've not fought skillful fighters before? Are people, unless people here believe that Billy Joe is more skillful than Lara? You think that? You think Billy Joe is more skillful than Floyd? So you think that whatever Billy Joe's doing that Canelo hasn't seen before, and this is a Canelo that fought Lara and Floyd 6-7 years ago, you think he's not gone on since then? Please. You guys must be smoking some of that Wilder smoking thing. Telling you now, Billy Joe ain't got nothing. Stop it. Paul Blackman says, Addy, you're selling out. Not selling out. I just don't think he's got a chance. You know what it is, yeah? I'm very much, I will get behind the Brits. That's just, look, although I try not to be patriotic, I will get behind the Brits. But I can't lie. You know, when I sit on this green chair, I tell the truth, or what I think is the truth. And as much as I would like Billy Joe, understand what I mean here. I would like Billy Joe to beat Canelo. I actually would, just because I'm not the biggest fan of both. But I look at Canelo's CV and body of work, and I look at Billy Joe's CV and body of work. I just don't see what everyone's saying. I don't see what everyone's saying. What else I got? Matthew D'Souza says, Ade, Canelo struggled versus Lara, therefore he loses to Billy Joe Saunders. Yeah, 1 + 1 = 2. Of course he struggled versus Lara. He struggled versus peak Lara, and that was then. That's my point. He's seen that and he learns from it. You can clearly see what he's learned from when he watches other people fight. So when he fights them, he's learned from it. But we'll see. 30 seconds. Good point here from Playmaker Kev. Says, Billy Joe Saunders may be like Tyson Fury, fights to the level of his opponent. I agree with that. Honestly, I agree with that. I do think he will raise his game. Will he raise it enough to fight the pound for pound number one in the sport right now? That's the question. But I do agree with that a lot. Stephen Toki says, Billy Joe Saunders versus Andre Ward. Oh, that's the one, man. That I really wanted that. there was rumors about that happening about what, a year and a half ago or so, in terms of being that big fight. Yeah, it's a shame, but I don't think we're going to get that. Someone said here they're trying to send a super chat and it's not working. Anyone else have a problem? I don't know. I don't know. Someone said I'm deluded. Where is that? Where's that? I saw it. Gabrielle, where is that? I saw something. I want to hear. I really want. Okay, here we go. Ade, you're deluded. Billy Joe Saunders would school Canelo. Oh God, I'm deluded. He has superior skills as an extremely special fighter. Oh God, you're deluded, Gabrielle. You're deluded. Billy Joe Saunders would school Canelo. How can you say I'm deluded by that statement? You're deluded. What are we talking about here? Oh God. Oh bloody hell. I'm deluded. Stop yourself. I would rather see Billy Joe versus GGG first. I agree. I think both of them should fight first. And see ER or Antlers just done a $1.99 super chat. I'm guessing he's doing it. He got a thumbs up, so he's trying to say it's working. Thank you for checking on that, brother. Cystic One says that guy is delusional. Ade, not you. Thank you. I know I can be a bit delusional, people, but I'm sorry. Yeah. Games you love. You must be trolling me. Games you love says Billy Joe Saunders won't lose a round. He's too technically sound. Do you watch boxing, sir? Games you love. Do you really watch the sport of boxing? do you realize that in the last 3 years, Canelo has beaten Gennady Golovkin once. I was going to say twice. One was a draw, one was a win. Danny Jacobs, Kovalev, and Callum Smith. Those fights at 160, 168, and 175. Would you like me to read out what Billy Joe Saunders has done? And not only what he's done, but the fights in which he struggled in. Do you know for a few rounds he was struggling against that guy on the undercard of the YouTube fight? You know that, right? Okay, just checking that you know that. David Okereke has done a $4.99 super chat. David, get a question in, brother. Thank you so much for the super chat, by the way. But get a question in, man. Get a question in. This is the one I've been asking. Question from Benjamin says, does Charlo find any success versus Canelo? This is the one I really want to see now. I'm intrigued by it, just because Charlo's quite aggressive. And I do want to see someone aggressive on him. And I don't want to see what I saw from Kovalev. Although Kovalev was a bit aggressive, he kind of then decided, okay, this ain't working. Started backpedaling. And we saw Callum Smith start backpedaling as well. I want to see someone that's going to be like, nah, we got to go toe-to-toe. We got to go toe-to-toe. Cindy says, would Canelo beat a Coley? No, he wouldn't. But there are some people that are saying, I saw some stuff the other day today, that Canelo should go up and fight Breedis at cruiserweight. I mean, let's calm down a bit now. Coley is 6'4", 6'5", and hits like a mule. Like a mule. Like for example, he's got something that could dent Canelo. But no, I don't think he would. A lot of people saying I think he would beat Okolie. Stop it. Stop it. That would be a good one. A toe-to-toe fight. Someone just said 1-2 travel 2-1. If you want toe-to-toe, look, Canelo's going to beat this person, but Canelo versus Munguia. Munguia would give him toe-to-toe. Munguia would get knocked out, but boy, that would be a fun fight. That would be a fun fight. Does anyone think like Canelo's already an all-time great? Does anyone? Let me see what comes through on the super chat. I think he's already an all-time great, and it's going to get to the stage where I think we're going to have to start talking about him in a serious conversation here. David Okereke, super chat says, do you think Canelo will give it another go at 175? I don't, because I don't think the guys at 175 have enough stardust, enough superpower, like enough where they're a big draw themselves. I don't think Canelo's scared of going to 175, although he did look a bit sluggish when he fought Kovalev, so I do think the extra weight is a problem. And he also said in his post-fight press conference yesterday that he still wants to do fights at 160. So if you can make 160, there's no reason to go to 175. I just thought he looked at Kovalev and thought there's a belt out there. Bivol and Beterbiev, they're different beasts altogether, but they're not big fights. In order for them to be big fights, you'd like to see Beterbiev versus Bivol, and then maybe that might elevate them a bit more, I think. Some people are saying here that they don't think Canelo's an all-time great. That's interesting. What have you got to do then? It means 4-weight world champion, legit, by the way. Don't know what you got to do. That's so interesting. Canelo versus Eubank in Wembley, absolutely not. What's going on with Eubank? There was some talk about him versus Caleb Plant, now nothing. Eubank is such a waste of talent. And I do think there's talent there, by the way. I know it's not amazing talent, but it's such a waste. I've almost forgot about him now, if I'm honest with you. A few people saying that he's on the PEDs. Yeah, well, I mean, I could throw that at quite a few fighters, if I'm honest with you. Not legit. He's used steroids, and the decisions for him are always bent. What we got here? People don't think he's a... Jeez. People really don't think he's an all-time great. That is so interesting, because I genuinely do. Remember, the only guy to beat this is Floyd. He's the only guy to beat Canelo. And Floyd caught him early and made him boil down, I think, to 151. And the first couple of rounds, I thought he was doing all right in that fight. And then, obviously, Floyd just went into Floyd 2.0. But, yeah, people are saying that GGG won and that Lara beat him. I get why people say that, but those weren't, like, they weren't massive robberies. Like, you want to see a robbery, go and watch Oscar De La Hoya versus Felix Sturm. That's a robbery. The fights against Lara and the fight against GG were close. I mean, I gave GG the first fight by a round. I gave Lara the fight by a round. You know what I mean? So there weren't robberies. It was in there against two very legit guys. So, and he took those fights. I think he took, I could be wrong here, but I think he took the Lara fight after coming off a loss to Floyd. I think. You can double check that if you can. David Okereke says, who's greater, Canelo or Juan Manuel Marquez? Oh, don't put me on a spot like that, brother. I love Marquez, but I'm going to go Canelo. Yeah, Canelo. Canelo for me. Canelo crazy, you know. Canelo crazy, people. He's crazy. He's not a normal fighter. Someone's asking, Hardcore Boxing says, would this Canelo be a prime Andre Ward? What is prime Andre Ward? Prime Andre Ward that fought Carl Froch. Ward. I gotta go Ward. Good fight though, innit? The fact I'm even thinking about it says how good I think Canelo has done. The fact I'm even thinking about a guy that really campaigned at 154 could beat a guy that, like, cleared up at, well, not cleared up, but beat who he could beat at 168, then beat Kovalev at 175. I'm gonna go Ward. Joe Calzaghe versus Canelo, someone says at 168. Joe has so much good movement. Joe will be in and out. That's what I'm trying to say. We need someone fast to fight Canelo. No one can be, you've got to be on your toes to fight him. You really have got to be on your toes. All right. One thing I did want to talk about, because I don't want us to just to focus on Canelo, although I think we should. Did you see Callum Smith's left bicep? It literally had popped out. His bicep had torn, which is madness because he was still throwing hooks, but he couldn't throw his jab. And the reason he couldn't throw his jab is because he couldn't fully extend his arm. That was crazy. So that's why he had to throw hooks. His bicep tore. That was madness. Congratulations. I mean, who wouldn't stop a fight? Like, you'd think the fight would be stopped. Credit to him, man. Canelo versus Prime GGG. Canelo versus Prime GGG for me was Matthew Macklin. That kind of GGG around there. I would go with GGG. I know people might say no, but I think we saw a GGG. Look, GGG now is obviously done, right? As much as I love him, he's done. Even when GGG fought Canelo the first time, I thought, oh, this GGG had started to show a few things to tell me that his time was coming to the end, and I thought he beat him. So I'd go, that GGG that kind of folded Macklin in half, I'm going for that GGG. That's just me. That's just me. Base the Kid, proper. Thank you, brother. Big super chat from Base the Kid. Smash the like button, people. Cheers, my man. Honestly, thank you for everyone that does hit the like button. Thank you so much. That's big, Base the Kid. Thank you very much, brother. Canelo delayed fighting GGG to avoid him at his peak. I don't know if Canelo did. I think Oscar did. Canelo doesn't look like the kind of guy to avoid people like that, you know. I don't know what it is about him. Doesn't look like the kind of guy to avoid. What do you think Callum Smith should do next, out of interest? What does everyone think Callum should do? 2 secs. I think Callum should go to 175, 100%. And I wouldn't mind seeing him against the Brits. I wouldn't mind seeing him at the Brits. We've got some good Brits here now. So he can start building himself back up again. Obviously, there's Callum Johnson. There's Boatsy. I mean, people will say Yard, but Lyndon Arthur beat Yard. You know what I mean? So there's other ones out there as well. Richards won the other day in a British title fight. I think he's obviously too good for that level, but there are other Brits out there. So I wouldn't mind seeing him go 175. CRB says, Benavidez runs through Callum just like Canelo did. I think Benavidez beats Callum Smith. I'd agree with that. Hands up. I've said that. But I don't think he runs through him like that. I don't think he kind of deters him the way Canelo did. Maybe, though. I think Benavidez is really good. I think Benavidez is the second best 168-pounder out there. I think Canelo's number one, but I think Benavidez is number two. So he could possibly do that. What are people saying? I think Callum can make 168, but it drains his body. A few people, Pretty Boy Fizzy says, did we overrate Smith a bit? His best win was an old George Groves. Yeah, fact, 100%. 100%. And I'm not saying that as like an afterthought. I said that before, that George Groves, that was his final fight of his career. The fight was even stalled because George Groves ruptured his shoulder or dislocated his shoulder against Chris Eubank Jr. And he beat him. And then, to me, when you beat a fighter, then the fighter retires, it shows the fight was already on the way out for me. So I think, I don't know. CRB says, you're a Pac fan, huh? Pain track, first verse, go. Oh, he doesn't believe I'm a Pac fan. Sorry, guys, this is CRB testing my rap skills here. I'm not a good rapper, but I will tell you, Pain, first verse. You'll never take me alive, I'm getting high on my 4-5. Clocked on these suckers, time to die. Even as a youngster, something on the back of the bus. I was a school for high school, kicking up dust. But then I labeled me a troublemaker. What can I say? Smoking weed up to take away the pain. But I'm hopeless, borrowing on the freeway, swerving. Don't worry. Something along those lines. Anyway, my mind's gone. But I was close. All right. What we got here now? What we got here? People laughing. I didn't write that myself. I swear to God, that is close. That was close. I just couldn't remember the words. All right. Kids, stay in your room on Xbox. All right. What are we saying? 2 secs. Someone saying they saw me. Faisal Iqbal says, shout out Ade, proper nice guy. Met him on Leighton High Road once. Yes, I remember that. You were outside the mortgage place, I think. The property shop. All right, let's quickly talk about, because time is of the essence, people. I want to talk about Spence Crawford. So we're moving on. We're moving on from Canelo. We are going to get back to GGG very quickly. Spence Crawford. The reason I want to talk about that is because Errol Spence yesterday done an interview and he was asked about the Crawford fight, and he says it should be a 70-30 or a 60-40 split. Crawford replied on Twitter saying, well, that's not going to happen then. Fight's done. I think the fight just has to be 50-50. Like, just make the fight 50-50. Jesus Christ. Someone saying, Sam So, saying United just won 6-2. Bloody hell. Asked who beats Canelo. The only thing that beats Canelo is Varda, USADA, and UCAD. CRB says, who can you blame? Close enough. See, I was close enough. Thank you. See you at Fury Wilder 3. You certainly will see me Fury Wilder 3. That fight happens March, April. Fact. David Okereke says, I should have a look at Fanon Boxing's channel. He's the biggest troll in boxing. You know, there are a few trolls out there, you know. like for no reason. Let's just have fun with it. Like, just have fun with it. Regarding the Spence Crawford split, I'm with Spence here as well. I think this fight should be 60-40. I don't understand. It must be egos, because I'm guessing even at 60-40, the 40 would still be more than, and I'm just thinking of it because I think it'll do good pay-per-view numbers. I think the 40 will be more than Crawford's ever earned in his life. Not, I mean, for one fight. So what's the problem? I mean, someone's coming to the ring with 2 belts, you're coming with 1, and the person that's coming with 2 has had bigger fights with you, and we've seen is a draw on pay-per-view. We saw it against Garcia, we saw it against both Garcias, Mikey and Danny. So I'm more than happy with 60-40. I don't know what's wrong with Crawford. I mean, Crawford might be a free world champion. He might be the guy that's up there in terms of pound for pound status, but I am certainly with 60-40, get the fight on. Like, what is wrong with Crawford? So what the questions are. Mendy Boy Trendy says, Addy, I saw you the other day and was scared to approach you as you were much bigger in person and looked intimidating and not in a good mood. Yeah, you're lying. You're lying. I did, well, you know what, to be fair, I'm looking a bit swollen right now, but no, if you see me, say hello. What are you talking? I'm the friendliest guy you could possibly meet in your life. Possibly meet. 2 seconds. He says, you're not lying. Okay, you're not lying at all. I was going to say something. Fanny, what was that thing? Fanny Boy, what was that channel that someone said is a troller? I want to... Fannon's Boxing Channel. Is it a trolling channel? I don't know why I don't know why you guys watch those type of channels, if I'm honest with you. Like, there's a few channels out there that are very pro Wilder, a few channels out there that are very pro Matchroom. Like, just be normal. Like, just be across the board. Just be across the board, man. And leave it as that. Don't get it. I don't get it. Yes, I got you, brother. I got you, CRB. I'll send it to you right now, actually. Give me a couple of minutes. Crawford versus Canelo at 160. Crawford way too small. Way too small. All the, the thing is, though, Crawford can switch it. Crawford can switch it, but Crawford just too small. Again, are we forgetting that Canelo just fought at 175? Canelo just fought at 175. And in fighting Callum Smith, he fought a guy that was 175 as well. Callum Smith is a 175er. Crawford's too small. Sam So says, Ade, Chocolatito Estrada. Yes, Chocolatito Estrada is made. Also, DAZN's $1.99 in the UK. By the way, so I used the DAZN app yesterday. So I didn't illegally stream it. I used the app. Very good app. Like, so good. And it's got the back catalogue of stuff as well. $1.99 for that. I'm happy with that. That's a bargain. An absolute bargain at $1.99. Base the Kid says, Spence ain't a draw. 200 to 360k ain't nothing to write home about. You know what it is, though? It's nothing, but let's not forget, Base the Kid, that what was the price of their pay-per-view? $60, I think, for the last one. When you compare that to what our price is over here, which is what, 25, but mainly around 20 quid. So that would be the equivalent of like AJ doing, what's that, 800,000 buys over here. So it's equivalent of Spence doing 800,000 buys over here. That's big. Like, that's big. Is my maths correct? I think my maths are correct. If my maths are correct, that's a big number. That's a big number. So yeah, he's not a massive draw, but I think 200 to 360 for his kind of first steps in the water to pay-per-view. I think he's only had, what, 3 pay-per-views, right? 2 or 3? Was Porter Spencer pay-per-view? I don't think it was. So he's only had 2 or 3 pay-per-views. And I think for that, for your first couple of pay-per-views, that's legit. Let's not forget that Crawford's first pay-per-view was against Victor Postal. That done 50,000 buys. 50,000 buys. So it's better than that, innit? Miles Abbott says, we need you to go work for the DAZN and help their commentary team. They're in need of it. You're not even the commentary team. I think they need to work on their team over here. Like, I think yesterday when they threw to Gareth A. Davis and Joe Calzaghe a couple of times, it just didn't look great. Like, I would rather, and this is no disrespect, I think Gareth's very good at what he does, but I think I'd rather listen to Chris Lloyd and Darren Barker, or even Adam Cattrall and Nick Peake. There are so many people over here that I'd rather listen to that I think are better. I would love to go and do stuff behind the scenes, but not be the main commentator, just be the guy that interviews people. But yeah, they do need to work on it. But again, they've just entered over here, so I think they'll make some changes as they go on, no doubt. No doubt whatsoever. 2 seconds. Ade, you said you would manage Trendy Mendy last week. Who is Trendy Mendy? Gabriel says, Ade, would you come to my house to watch boxing in my cinema? You've got a cinema in your house. Jesus Christ, man. If you're not lying, I would definitely come along. I live in London and I'm a massive fan of you. I have posters of you in my room. Would you be down? No, I would not. No, I certainly would not. Super chat here from Quinn40. When was the last time you went on another channel? What, to watch boxing or actually to appear on another channel? I'm actually supposed to be doing something with Rob Tebbit and Boxing Social tomorrow, like a yearly breakdown of the sport. I don't know if it's going to happen now because of this lockdown, but if not, we're going to do it by Zoom. But I do need to start doing some more collaborations. I haven't done any, if I'm honest with you. I've just been lazy by myself. I ain't done shit, if I'm honest with you. What we got here? The DJ Clockwise says, big up yourself. Much love from Sweden. Big up yourself. Big up yourself indeed, brother. Someone here says, I love Rob Tebbit. Yeah, Rob Tebbit's decent kid. DAZN will go to $4.99 soon. Even so, $4.99, if we get what we think we're going to get, so if we get all those big fights from America that we all moan that we miss on, because we miss out on a lot of these big fights. It's clear that Sky aren't going to get them anymore. Box Nation used to, but they're not going to get them. So if we can get a lot of the DAZN stuff on there, so that means Canelo, that does mean GGG, that does mean Demetrius Andrade and whatever else they can get. I'm not too fussed with $5 a month. Anything more than that, then you're like, you start to moan. But $5 a month, yeah, you can take my money. You can take my money. CRB says, Dead Zone commentary, he's talking about the zone here, are Mandalorian drones. Hashtag Luke. Yeah, I think their commentary ain't great, if I'm honest with you. I think, I like Brian Kenny. I think Brian Kenny is one of the best in the business. I mean, someone that's been going along that long, you got to like him. But the others, I'm a fan of Sergio Mora, but I don't know, man. I prefer the Timothy Bradley, Andre Ward type commentary, which is Andre Ward's quite serious and Timothy Bradley's just a crazy character. I prefer that a bit. I do think someone needs to get Paulie back in the commentary booth. I think Paulie needs to be used a lot more. I don't know what's happening with him. Obviously, Sky were trying to use him a lot. They stopped. Something happened with Paulie. Was it something racist or something? Something happened, but I think he needs to come back into the game because he's fantastic. Someone said I should collab with Hatman. Ain't that easy? I will try and do it, but ain't that easy. But we'll try and get it done because Hatman's top, and he's very, very good. Paulie got blackballed for racist comments, says Ozzy Mandias. Okay. But Paulie's so good. Paulie's so good. Games You Love says, Ade, DAZN USA fell. They're trying to take over European market. Rest in peace, Sky Sports Boxing. Listen, Sky you're talking about, you know. Yes, I know it's easy to say rest in peace, Sky Sports Boxing. Possibly, look, Sky care about football. That's the biggest thing for them, Premier League football. Boxing doesn't really bring in the ching for Sky like that. Football does. It's massive for them. So they might just let it go just because of that. Just because of that. I start the January transfer show starts again. Transfer window, 4th of January. I'm on that 2 days a week. I'm on it on Mondays and Thursdays. Got to get ready for that, boy. Can't mess up that. What we got here? All right, let's do. All right, so we've moved away from Canelo. We've done a bit on Spence. Let's just do questions about anything now. I'm going to read any questions for the last 15 minutes. Christoph Claus says, do you watch NFL? I don't watch NFL. I don't. Isaac Firestone says Brian Kenny's knowledge yesterday was lacking. It was a bit. It was, you know what it is? It's difficult, people. It's bloody difficult. Like, it's not easy. Like, I've done the radio stuff. I've done a bit of TV commentating myself. It's so hard. You got all the notes in front of you and you're trying to say something and something else comes out. I've done it. Trust me, I've done it. There was a meme made about me in the summer for getting a player's name wrong. I think it was what was his name now? Ndombele, that plays for, is that his name, that plays for Barcelona? I think I said something like Osama bin. I don't know why it came out. I have no idea. It's difficult. You can make mistakes and you can get your shit twisted. It's not easy. I think we maybe watch it and think that commentating and TV work and radio work's easy, and why are they making mistakes? It's bloody hard. Big super chat here from Mr. CRB. Best commentary are guys that don't need the media paycheck. That's why Charles, Kenny Smith, Shaq, TNT crew are so good. 100%, by the way. That is so true. Like, I don't know if you guys watched the TNT crew with Charles Barkley, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Shaq. These are all multimillionaires. They say whatever they want. It's so free, and they're the best ones. I think I agree. People that rely on that, which is a lot of people, right? It's a job, but they are so biased to whoever they should be watching or they should be liking. Hopefully that makes sense. I agree with that statement. What else we got here? Questions wise. 2 seconds. Someone asked me, am I a Man United fan in disguise? Sam Fernandez was best player of 2020 over Virgil. When did you watch that? Oh, you must have listened to me on TalkSport. He is, though. 2020. For the year 2020, I'd say Fernandez, since he came to United, and it pains me to say it, I think it's been the best signing. And so he's had the best year in the Premier League. I just genuinely believe that. And trust me, it pains me to say it. Sam So says, what Spence looking to do is exactly what Khan did. Duck the fight everyone wants and jump up 2 weight divisions to fight Canelo. Am I wrong? These guys ain't scared, you know. Spence ain't ducking Crawford. He's not. He's not ducking Crawford. Is it a tough fight? Absolutely. Does Spence think he can beat Crawford? Absolutely. Like that level where you're talking elite versus elite, there is no fear. He thinks he can beat Crawford. He just wants to lie and share the money. That's all it is. There's no duck and no fear in Errol Spence when it comes to Terence Crawford. No duck at all. He looks at Crawford as a small guy. He looks at Crawford as I'll break you. And he might just do that. I personally think Terence Crawford beats him, but there's no duck. I just think he looks at, there's money in boxing and then there's money. Like Crawford versus Spence, they might both walk away with maximum, I think, 7-8 mil. That's what I think. Canelo versus Spence, Spence is probably walking away with double that. And that's all it's about. It's about money. As much as we like to talk about legacy fights and belts and all this good stuff, it's about that at the end of the day. And you try and look for the fight that can make you the most of that. So he's definitely not scared of Terence Crawford whatsoever. 2 seconds. Someone says, can I shout out Trendy Mendy for his win on Saturday? Trendy Mendy, did you get a win on Saturday? Can Trendy Mendy put his real name in the chat so I can see who you are? But shout out to Trendy Mendy for your win on Saturday night. Now, what's your real name? What's your real name? 2 seconds. All right, finally someone's got into it. AJ knocks out Fury easily. Not gonna go there. Not gonna go there. Someone said here, Stephen Tokley says, did you see Badr Hari get KO'd on Saturday? I didn't. 12 Travel 21 says, would you like to see Snoop Dogg do boxing commentary on a real fight? No, not on a real fight. No, I don't think you can have that jokey stuff that he did on a real fight. This is serious. I mean, I want to see some real stats, real knowledge of the sport. I think you might, you could have it as an alternative commentary. And someone can maybe press a button from home if they don't want to hear some of the experienced guys. But for me, you need an experienced guy. calling these big fights. Absolutely. John David Merritt says, "Hey, Addy, I'd just like to say thank you because you taught me how to watch boxing. Hello from Texas." I taught you. I don't know anything about the sport, but I appreciate that, my man, and thank you for watching it from Texas. Free Porky, he's back in jail. Who is Porky? Let me know. 2 seconds. Stephen Tokley says, "Has Coogan ever told you to be safe?" He hasn't. I will say this about Coogan though, having watched him up close and personal, like been to events and seen how he works, the work ethic is incredible. I can't I can't tell you how much he works. It's absolutely incredible. Someone told me that I missed CRB super chat. Sorry, brother, if I did. Apologies. AJ versus Fury says Scottish John is a genuine 50-50 fight. I would edge slightly to Fury, but hey, I'm taking that. As an AJ fan, I'm taking it, but I would edge slightly to Tyson Fury. All right, guys, last 10 minutes. I say that, but then more people have just joined the chat, and I want to try and, I want to try and just basically not disappoint people, if I'm honest with you. Someone here says, Ty and Booth collab, no chance. Absolutely no chance. He's not real, is he? I mean, he's real, but he's a comedian, isn't he? So nah, can't do it. Sam So says, sorry, but AJ fan, you're in for a rude awakening. Fury wins. Yeah. No, I've no. Look, you never know. You never know, right? But I'm fair. I think I'd say it's a 60-40 Fury split in terms of I give Fury a 60% chance, give AJ a 40% chance. It's a close fight. Let's just hope it happens, right? Games you love, shout out Ultratech. Yeah, Ultratech, my boy. A bit crazy, but he's my boy. Go and check his channel out if you haven't already checked it out. Very, very good boxing knowledge. Like, more than me. I can't lie to you. There's a lot of people more than me, if I'm honest with you. Luis Ortiz versus Joe Joyce as co-main on Fury Wilder 3, says CRB. No, what I want to see and what they're kind of talking about right now is Dillian White versus Luis Ortiz over here, January 31st. Wouldn't mind it. My wish list for as who should replace Povetkin, because we all know that Povetkin's out of that January 31st fight, I would go number one, without a shadow of a doubt, would be Deontay Wilder. That would be number one. Ain't gonna happen. Number two would be Andy Ruiz. I would love to see that fight. I want to see fighters, these are the kind of fights I want to see. Number three would be Luis Ortiz. Number four, Michael Hunter. Number five would be a Joseph Parker rematch, but Joseph Parker has obviously fight with Junior Farr, which is obviously supersedes Dillian White. Avi Scholes says, Addy, it's time for a clean shave. It so isn't. It so isn't. But I will have to take it down once I get back on the TV thing. But you know what it is right now? It's just radio, innit? Radio work and YouTube work. Don't need to cut the beard. And it's not like we're going anywhere. Fucking hell, we're in tier 4. We ain't going anywhere. We ain't doing anything. Pubs are shut. Bars are shut. Restaurants are shut. Why do I need to cut my beard for? Why do I need it? Ian Cragg says Hunter versus White would be good to see. It'd be good to see Hunter's level, he says. Yeah, same. Didn't Hunter fight like about a week ago? Like, jeez, he fought a nobody. No disrespect, like fought a nobody. How has that happened? How has Hunter gone from fighting in Saudi Arabia as one of the main events on AJ versus Ruiz, got a draw against Povetkin, a fight he maybe should have won, and Povetkin goes on to fight Dillian White and make 7 figures, and Hunter's fighting nobodies, got dropped by Matchroom. Mad. Boxing is one mother effing sport. CRB says, Eddie talks BS. PBC not helping Eddie Bridge burned already. Eddie, we say Eddie talks BS, yeah? I get why you don't like Eddie. Eddie can make and does make some big fights. Like, that's fact. Like, you know what I mean? That's fact. He's gone over to America and it hasn't quite worked out with DAZN. I think we can all agree on that. He didn't get the big ones he wanted. But Eddie will make some big fights. I I can see Eddie making on DAZN Teofimo Lopez versus Devin Haney on DAZN, not on Top Rank, on DAZN. I can see that. Sorry, of course. Yeah, on DAZN, sorry. I can see that happening. There was conversations behind the scenes yesterday with them where I think Teofimo Lopez says he wants 10 million, but he will do it for 5 million. Eddie says he can do the fight for 5 million. I can see Eddie making some big fights, in 2021. I really can. Eddie's a bloody good promoter. Like, bloody good promoter. 2-6. Scottish John says, Hearn dropped Hunter. That's why, yeah, Hearn unfortunately did. Yeah, Matchroom did drop him. It's not good, is it? It's not good at all. Green Goblin says, Hughie Fury versus Derek Chisora. Like it. I like that fight. Let's see, right? That's the kind of fight I've been wanting for Hughie Fury. We do need to see a fired up Chisora, but that's a good fight. They've been in against mutual opponents, that being Kubrat Pulev. Kubrat Pulev beat both of them convincingly for me. So I don't know where they both are, but that'd be good. 1-1 Travel 21 says Josh Taylor versus Jose Ramirez for all 4 belts at 140 pounds. Who wins? I'm going to go with Taylor. But I'm doing that just because I am being a bit patriotic here. I think it's a close fight, and I'm guessing if you ask many Mexican Americans or Americans, they would say Ramirez. So it's just one of those fights. Paul Moss says he was impressed with DAZN. Great value. So was I. Let's be honest though, Paul, it's not going to stay at that value, but I was very much impressed as well. Scottish John says, God bless you, Ade. Stay safe, brother. You too, Mr. Scottish John. You too. Someone asked me about my Patreon. Got some ideas for it. It's coming. It is coming. It won't be. That can't be right. Has someone just dropped a £50 super chat? Have you made a mistake? Let me know. Did you really want to do 5 and you done 50? Do I need to send you 45 back? Ben Odom has just dropped a 50 super chat. Bloody hell, Ben. I mean, Jesus, my man. And you've done it without even asking a question. Ben's rich. Ben rich. You know when someone drops a super chat and they don't ask a question? Someone's like, just take the 50. Don't even need to ask you a question. Just take the 50. Ben ain't fucking about. It's weird how everyone on here is like, Ben got paper. Man like Ben. Wow. Jeez, Ben ain't playing. And Ben didn't even ask a question. Madness. So Nicolay says, I didn't know we had oil princes in here. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Nor did I, brother. Nor did I. Hussein Ali says, Ben, are you supplying Canelo? Ben got the money, boy. Ben got the dough. And the funny thing is about Ben, can I be honest with you? I've never seen Ben here before. So Ben's new. I've never seen that name. So Ben's new. What's this one? Deli Kin says, do you think AJ will fight in Nigeria, Africa? Who would you like to see him fight? I hope. I don't think. I'd like to think it could happen. And the reason I say that is because you've got a lot of Nigerians, Africans now that are doing very well over here. So Lawrence Okoli will be world champion next year, I've no doubt. You've got AJ as well. You've got Chisora, Zimbabwean heritage. So you can put on a show there and it will do massive numbers over there. It will do huge numbers. So you'd like to think it could happen. Don't know. I don't foresee it happening, which is a shame, right? I mean, massive shame, but I don't know. And it would kickstart the sport over there as well. I mean, boxing in Africa is taking a bit of a nosedive, especially the amateurs. It will kickstart it because you have little kids look up to AJ and rather than want to be a footballer, which is what they all want to be over there, they might think, you know what, I want to be a boxer. I want to be a boxer. 2 seconds. Someone said Joshua versus Efe Ajagba. Efe Ajagba needs to have a good 2021, boy. And Efe Ajagba did say that AJ wasn't really a Nigerian. I hate that. I hate Nigerians digging out Nigerians like that. I get it. That AJ is obviously British and he fights for Britain and done all this stuff. Nigerian though, man. You know what I mean? That's wrong. Someone said I should do 30 minutes more because of the donation. I won't do 30 minutes, but I'll definitely do a few minutes, boy. Maybe get another £50 donation. 2 secs. What other questions have we got? Oh, yeah. Stephen Tokley says, sorry, I didn't even read it properly. Inoue versus Casemiro will be the fight of the year. Inoue wins, but that will be fight. CRB says, don't forget your 300K for Fury Wilder free bet. You know what it is? So basically, CRB, I said that Fury versus Wilder free will struggle to do around 300,000 buys in America just because we've seen it already and Fury won the second fight. I have changed my mind on this one a bit just because you know what they're going to do. All the things that Wilder said in terms of why he didn't win the fight, they're going to play it like a fucking WWE script. And they are going to build that fight like it's some sort of revenge mission. And if anyone can build a fight, the Americans know how to build a fight. And you've got two guys that like to talk and sell fights as well. I take it back. It does 301,000. No, I think it'll be. I think it could get to around the 500,000. Lopez versus Haney is a weak fight, says BS. Pardon me? Pardon me? Is it your? I'm guessing you're basing. Oh my God, we've got to talk about Loma and what Loma said. But I'm guessing you're saying that based on the fact that you think Lopez smokes Haney. I think Lopez beats him. Don't think he smokes him. It's not a weak fight. It's not a weak fight at all. Did you see what thing he said, by the way? Lomachenko, that the judges might have been bribed and that he thought he won the fight and he's watched it back again. I'm a massive Lomachenko fan. He is slowly but surely making me not like him. I can't take sore losers, which is why I so went in on Wilder. Because I thought, what is Wilder doing here? He got beat. Just take it. He got beat, move on, accept it. What Loma's doing is sour. It's sour. And it's embarrassing. I can't take it. And I actually don't even want him now to get his second opportunity against Teofimo. I think Teofimo should just say, no, I'm not fighting you. Not fighting you. So very, very, very disappointed with what Loma did, if I'm honest with you. A few people are saying that he actually, he genuinely believes he won. That's a scary thing. He actually thinks he won. And he started breaking it down by round. He's crazy. He's crazy. Mike Gorman, I don't believe this, but we'll read it out anyway. Where is it? Ade, I'm Gorman's cousin, and the way you insult his skills really destroys me. And me and Nathan are big fans. All right, even though I don't believe you, Mike, I'm going to answer it. Anyway, I don't destroy his skills. You know what it is? He came in, I'm a stickler for a fighter coming in shape. Stickler for it. Especially in the heavyweight division where you don't need to come in shape. And when I saw what he weighed for his last fight, I just can't fuck with you. I just can't, you're clearly not serious about this. And this is a serious sport. So I think he's so much better than he's showing me. It's similar to Ruiz. When Ruiz came in, nearly 300 pounds for AJ, whatever it was. You're just not serious then, are you? You can't be serious. So that's why I'm against him, if I'm honest with you. Just because of that. Is Gennady Golovkin on the juice? If he is, then he's just joining the party. He's just joining the party because he's clearly fought someone that was on it himself, right? CRB says, Lopez's numbers on ESPN are fire. He done good numbers. But it wasn't pay-per-view. Let's not forget that. No way he fights on DAZN. If he gets paid $5 million, he will go anywhere. That's, again, brother, it's about the money. If he gets paid the cha-cha-ching, he will go. But there's no doubt in my eyes that knowing Bob Arum, he's tied him down to like a 20-year contract or something. So it wouldn't shock me if he can't get out of that one. But we have seen Matchroom and Top Rank do some business. Obviously not DAZN and Top Rank, so you're making me call it DAZN. DAZN and Top Rank, but Matchroom. So there could be something in there. Let's see. I'm very interested to see what Luke Campbell does against Ryan Garcia soon. That's going to be a good one. Oh shit, 63 minutes. All right, guys. 5 more minutes. I know I always do this, but definitely 5 more minutes because I have a couple of things to do. Will Stokes says, I heard some people saying not only would Beterbiev and Bivol give Canelo issues, which I agree with, but that those guys are actually the favourites against Canelo. Thoughts, Ade? I've said that Bivol at 168, because he's a big 168 guy, obviously coming down from 17, gives him problems. He's a world champion. We've got to give him that respect. Beterbiev, I think, would break Canelo. I think it would break him. Like, Beterbiev is no No joke. This is not a guy that's washed at 175. This is not a guy that's small at 175. This is a monster at 175. A monster who doesn't shave his chest. Is a madman. Campbell, Schools, Garcia. What we got here? What's this? I saw something. Mackenzie, daily betting tips. Ade, I know you're very close to AJ. As a fan and a friend, please advise him to build boxing gyms in Nigeria. Raw talents are wasting. I wish I was that close with him. I certainly ain't. We have a couple of chats now and again, but it isn't like that. But yeah, look, AJ actually does send quite a lot of money back to Nigeria for medical aid, and he's trying to, I think, build a hospital out there. So look, Nigeria needs to help Nigeria. Don't rely on Brits making money to send money back. Nigeria needs to help Nigeria because Nigeria fucked, mate. What we got here? What we got? Ade Nate. Okay, no, we read that one already. 2 seconds. Pretty boy Flizzy, this good question here. Is Craig Richards the most slept on light heavyweight in the UK? Wouldn't mind him versus Yard. I wouldn't mind seeing him versus Lyndon Arthur first. Lyndon Arthur wants to fight him. British title. But I don't think he slept on. Remember he had that defeat against... Oh, I can't remember the guy's name now. I can't remember the guy's name. It's going to bug me, that. Come on, guys, tell me the name again. The guy he had a defeat against. I can't remember his name. What are people saying? I can't remember his guy's name that he had a defeat against. And he lost. Anyway, he slipped a bit. I think he's better now. I think he was at super middle first. Now he's at light heavy. I think he's a bit undersized for light heavy, you know. When you look at him, he's a bit undersized. But a very good boxer. Good technical boxer as well. That was a good fight against him and Shakan Peters. British champion, right? Now it's about trying to step up to the European level and then start making some of that. Some mullah. CRB says Luke Campbell will embarrass Ryan Garcia. I agree with you. I think he will. I think he's going to beat him. But look, we'll see. I don't know if he embarrasses him. I think he'll beat him. If he doesn't and Ryan Garcia looks special, then ouch. Ouch indeed. Yusuf, I'm going to get it right. Siler, I think it's Siler. Apologies if I'm wrong, brother. Says, I think no one beats Canelo right now from 154 to 168. Amazing how Canelo has grown in skills. Only goes to make Floyd even greater. I love Errol, but please, someone tell him to leave Canelo alone and fight Crawford. Facts only. Everything you just said there is facts. Everything. Everything is facts. I don't think anyone beats him from 154, 168. Again, I'm just so... I would love to see either of the Charlos fight him. Either. He says Canelo says he can make 160, which leaves the door open for either Charlos, just because they're aggressive and they're fast hands and fast feet. I just want to see that fight. They might get knocked out, but you know they're not backing off and going into the ropes. I think we know that. They're not doing what Callum Smith done yesterday. No disrespect to Callum. Again, thank you so much for your super chat as well, brother. Really appreciate it. $20 super chat. Wait, Jesus. Ben, what are you doing, brother? Ben is mad. Ben, another £20 super chat says, Merry Christmas, Ade subscribers. Give them 15 minutes more. I've got to do it. I can't not do it now. Can't not do it. Ian Craig says, hey, Ade, good stuff. Thank you very much, Ian Craig. Blue Sky says, it's actually a very rich country. He's referring to Nigeria. Because someone did ask the question, should AJ send money back to help Nigeria, like build gyms? And I was like, no, Nigeria should do it for Nigeria. Nigeria's a joke when it comes, like the government. I don't want to get involved in that conversation right now. Having lived there for a couple of years, that country is a joke. It's an embarrassment. And I went there to see with my own eyes. Like, you know, when you go to a country on holiday, that's one thing, right? When you actually go to a country to live, go to the supermarkets, go shopping, mate. A country. It's sad because I love it, but it's a joke. What we got? Oh, so many questions coming in. All right, stop. Let me stop the questions. How do I stop this? All right, Ade. What's this? People get involved. I shouldn't have started about the Nigerian stuff. Everyone asked me about Nigeria. Green Goblin says Wardley versus Babbage. Interesting domestic scrap, in my opinion. Yeah, good scrap. Could scrap that one. Babbage, bit small. Bit small. Babbage is definitely for the bridgerweight, isn't he? That nonsense. Absolute crap weight. Will Stokes says, do you think Josh Taylor is the real deal? Could he beat Teo and Crawford? This is the thing I was talking about the other day. I asked people these questions and they were like, no, no, no. I asked, could he beat Teo if Teo jumped to 140? Everyone said Teo. I said, could he give Crawford problems at 147? Everyone's like, absolutely hell no. This guy has unified a couple of belts at 140, but I think people still sleep on Josh Taylor a bit. And I don't know why. Look at Josh Taylor's little recent hit list. Very impressive. Very impressive recent hit list. But everyone sleeps on him. I personally don't think he beats Crawford. That won't come as a surprise to you. Teo going to 140 beating him? Don't know. Don't know. Don't know. 50-50 fight, I think. I don't know. Nick Vincent says here, will you be making any more UFC content? I will be. It's coming. It's coming, people. The channel will be at a talks soon. Boxing will still dominate the channel because it's the best sport in the world. But there will be a bit of MMA involved. There will even might be a bit of Liverpool football and all that shit involved very soon. Just because if you can talk about it, why not? Why not? Giant Sandal says, I think Taylor clearly beats Teo. Crawford's too good though. Clearly, he says. Like, no one is clearly beating Teo. No one. Like, Teo, clearly. After what I saw Teo do to Loma. Not anymore. Not anymore. Someone said this is a good one. Berlanga versus Canelo is huge in a few years. A lot of people are saying this. And how do I rate Edgar Berlanga? 15 first round knockouts. Who against her? Do you know what I mean? Who against? That fight ain't never going to happen anyway. Let's have a look. Nathan Turville says, Ade, if you like some MMA striking, get some Corey Sandhagen fights. Watched amazing footwork. Agreed. Agreed. No, he does have good foot. You know, I thought he has good footwork, but obviously I don't know about his ankles. Looks like he's going to have problems with it. Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley has real good footwork. In and out, so sharp. But I think he has weak ankles or weak legs. I don't know. But he has some really good footwork as well. Someone says, Ade, do you think you're famous because I don't want all the fame? Absolutely not. No bloody chance. Base the Kid says, does Canelo honor his WBC mandatory against Yildirim? You know what'd be interesting about that? If he does honor it, where? What platform? Does he still fight on the DAZN? This was just a one-fight deal, this fight here against Callum Smith. It was just literally a one-fight deal. There wasn't no obligations to have 2 or 3 more fights on the DAZN. So I wonder where he does it. Will the DAZN be happy against that? Will they be? They were against it before, right? They didn't want this. Will they be? I'd be shocked if he honors that mandatory. I don't necessarily think. One thing is though, is that he wants to clean up. He wants to unify. Fact at 168. He doesn't want to get stripped. Obviously, if he doesn't do his mandatories, he'll get stripped. But can the on what planet will the WBC strip Canelo? No chance. Will never happen. All right, guys. 2 more minutes. We've gone. I only wanted to do an hour. Someone asked me, Kane Page, is McGregor still the biggest star in the UFC? He is. He's getting caught a little bit, isn't he? In terms of being that star now. There are other guys coming through that are looking to take that star away from him, but he's still the biggest name in the sport. Still the biggest name. I mean, there are some other guys in there. Like Adesanya is going to get bigger and bigger, but I don't think Adesanya is going to be the guy to get to 1 million pay-per-view buys. The one that I think is close to taking him is Jorge Masvidal. That's the guy, right? Jorge is the guy, and he's done very, very good numbers. So Jorge is the big one, but Jorge is coming off a loss. They're going to need to match Jorge carefully to get that star back, but Jorge is definitely the big one. All right, last question. What we got here? What we got? Someone says they love Adesanya. We can read one more because that's not a question. Stephen Tokley says, I personally think that boxing should be in a super bridger and junior bridger class. Clearly, that's what the sport needs. to start seeing the IBO as a real title. Disagree. All right, guys. Oh, someone's asked Inoue versus Rigondo from Lance Hatch Boxing. Inoue. I don't even know why I thought. I was just thinking because something else came to mind. Guys, and girls, because I know some girls watch the channel as well. Peace and love. Stay safe. Look after yourself. Someone saying, I'm gliding in, says, do you think Canelo fights are shady? Beyond shady. Someone said, stay safe. Big Dan says safe. Everyone saying, take care. Take care, people. Base the kid, brother. Really appreciate you, man. Much appreciated. Thank you. Oh, Avi's girls last. All right, you know what? 5 more minutes. Go on. Why not? Hey, go on. Just 5 more. 5 more. 5 more minutes. What am I doing? I ain't doing nothing, can I? I ain't doing shit, to be honest with you. What we got here? You guys are funny. All right, FR MMA says, I think Bivol 100% beats Canelo. Expert long-range boxing and very, very quick on his feet with excellent footwork. He has all that. Can't lie to you. He does have all of that, but I'd be shocked if I'm honest with you. Someone saying I should fix myself a drink. I had a drink, but I don't want to have another one, because if I have another drink, I'm going to stay on here for longer, and we can't do that today. Pretty Boy Flizzy says, what's your plans for holidays? Weird tier 4s. Nothing. I was going to go to my sister. She's got a little big house in Tilbury. Christmas was supposed to be there with all the fam. I'm not sure anymore. I'm not sure. I'm working on TalkSport for the whole of the Christmas period. Apart from Christmas Day, I'm working. Am I working Boxing Day? No, I'm not working Boxing Day, actually. No, I'm not working Boxing Day or the 27th, but I start again on the 28th. So, yeah, I'm just busy doing Christmas. So it's a shame. What we got here? All right. Any more questions? No more questions. All right, guys, I can go. I can peace. Peace and love. Peace and love. I came. There's no more questions. I'm out of here. All right, we'll give it. No, I'm joking. I'm out. Peace, people. Stay safe. Stay safe, everyone.